All right. Today's the 7th. Today is Wednesday the 7th. Last Sunday was December the 29th. It was before New Year's, but it was right after the moon cycle passed, the new moon, which was on the 26th, day after Christmas. So I'm going to say this about the moon, and then I'm going to talk about what happened. Because I tried to record this several times, and it's just annoying me. I just want to be able to get this to come out right. Because I'm into the, you know how I am about moon cycles and the earth, world, universe, everything like that. So when the moon cycles pass, there's a time for planting, and then there's planting and sowing, and there's a time for reaping. It's just like anything else. It goes through a harvest. You harvest with the sun, you harvest with the moon too. So a lot of the full moons from last year were covered on the East Coast with clouds. It was raining. Something was happening. The moon's reveal or whole was intimate or close to you. So a lot of times when you have things that you hold dear to your heart, maybe some things have happened to you, maybe good or bad, it doesn't matter. But it's things that you just want to keep. And sometimes when it has to do with a negative situation, it may traumatize you to the point where it's so far in the back of your mind that you may not realize that it's sitting there, but it's taking up space. It's in your shadow, which you only see your shadow with your moon, with the moonlight. So, well, you can see it with the sun, but you get what I'm saying. This is how they differentiate. So you may hold things, and those things that you hold that you may or may not believe are there are the things that basically make you who and how you are, how you perform throughout the day, how you carry yourself throughout relationships, conversations, whatever the case may be. So the 29th, I went to the mall with one of my girlfriends. Went with her to go find a jacket. While we're in the department store, I'm like, oh my God, I got a party to go to the second week in January. I need to find a dress. Let me look for one while I'm here, right? So looking through the racks and stuff, and she finds the dress, and then when we go through the dressing room, it's a dress hanging on the door when we walk in, and both of us is like, so I take the dress in there and go try it on, and when I go in there to try it on, I call her back so she can see it, and both of us are like, oh my God, this is your dress, right? So both of us are so excited about how this dress looked that it was just this moment that came, and she got so excited about how it looked, and both of us were sharing in this excitement. It was like looking for a wedding dress. You know, oh my God, right? She said, if you decide to buy the dress, I'll go half if you want it. And I'm just like, no, you brush it off real quick because you don't, I'm not. Anyway, listen, you just brush it. I brushed it off real quick, and we walked throughout the store to go look for some other things. We got to the line. When we get to the line, she tries to pay for the dress or pay to ask the lady how to split the cost for the dress. And I jump in front of her. I'm like, no, I'll just pay for the dress. So she stepped back like, well, you don't have to ask me twice to spend my money or something. She said like that. So I started cracking up. My hand laid in my cart. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I wasn't really thinking about it. And then I started thinking about it. And I started to see how in so many moments of my life that very thing has happened. And I've stopped it. And a lot of times we may misinterpret something like that because of the way we get so used to doing things for ourselves, and it doesn't have anything to do with the other person, but they don't realize that. So we stood outside the store. We walked out the store because we was going back and forth a little bit at the register. We got outside the store, and she's like, my mom was a prideful woman like that. And I started laughing to myself a little bit because I've heard that before. And I was just like, I don't know. So I said, so throughout the conversation, I said, I've been doing everything for so long. I never want to feel like a burden for anybody. So when somebody tries to do something kind for me, I really don't know how to react to it in the moment. Like if somebody shows up with something for me that's nice, I'm inclined to embrace it, but I do it and feel weird about it because it's just because of previous situations and how they've turned out. It was always something negative tied to it. So it kind of, it makes you not understand how to embrace things. When somebody really is just trying to do something nice for you, it kind of stunts you a little bit. So in the moment, during the transaction, if I can take over and do it, then I will, because it'll kind of diffuse the weirdness and I don't have to deal with none of that. However, this huge moment of epiphany, okay? When you do things like that, when you stop things like that, it can stop the flow of abundance. Abundance is a flow of energy. Abundance is not just money. A lot of people believe that abundance is just a piece of paper or a coin, and that's just not true. Abundance is a doorway. It's a flow. It's a matter of fact, your mindset is what opens the doorway for the abundance to flow in. So it can be an abundance of anything, because we live in a binary, bipolar world. Everything is two-sided. But the flow is available to everybody. And that's the part that I was missing for a very long time. Sometimes I would stop things from happening and not even realize that I was doing that, because I was just in such a protective mode. I'll do it for me, and if I'm doing it, I don't have to worry about you doing it, and I'm not a burden to you, and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm thinking that I'm doing it from a point of modesty. But modesty is just the feminine version of pride. Like, if you think of pride, you may think masculine energy, heavy brute force, pride, standing in the way, protective, this, that, the other. And modesty is just the soft, feminine version of saying no or resisting. Because that, oh, I got it, oh, I got it, oh, I got it. It's kind of like, it can stop people from wanting to really do things for you. Not because they're not trying to be nice to you, but if you say no for so long and they like, oh, you got it, Jen, you got it. Then they'll kind of feel like they can't do anything nice for you. Kind of like Oprah. Like, what can you buy Oprah? She got all this money. What hasn't she thought of buying yet? You know, not that you have Oprah's money, but I'm just saying it's conceptual. So it goes right along with what I'm saying. And so doing that and understanding those things, once everything became so clear to me in that moment, I said, oh my God. I had done the same thing to myself the night before. I didn't even realize I did it. I was at a gathering and I brought my scars with me. And some people bought the scars. And one person in particular, I had a price tag on one of the scars because I took it to an event and I didn't have one on the other similar one. And in the moment, so much was going on, I couldn't remember why I priced one differently than the other. So I didn't want to feel like I was jipping her. So when she cashed at me money, she overpaid for it at the time, based on my understanding. I said, oh, I'm going to give her difference back. So that was my form of being modest. I'm not going to cheat you and take more from you. But when I told her that it was more, it was probably less, and I was going to look into it. Oh no, Jen, you got it. But I wanted to, it's almost like I heard her, but I didn't hear her. So I wanted to feel like I just did right by her. So I cashed the app her back the difference. And when I told her, she looked at me, she was like, and she's just like, all right. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I felt it. And it's so crazy because on Sunday, and that was the night before, on Saturday, that Sunday, I remembered that moment. And then I remembered another moment from before, and another moment from before. Now, I've been in this really isolated state, this turtle shell. Okay? I like the turtle shell I've been in. But I also prayed for certain things and certain people, and for things to play out a certain way. And sometimes, or most of the time, I'll say, when you ask and put prayers out in the atmosphere, God hears you. It's not deaf. You don't have to beg for it 10,001 times as if you don't believe in what you're praying. You ask one time, that's it. And the universe is a very intimate way of showing you that they listen and have answered your prayers. But if you don't know how to see, you won't know where to look. Oh my God. And you won't see when the door of giving and receiving. And so you can understand what God said when he said that this should be a land of lenders, not borrowers. You understand? Everybody flowing in abundance and being able to just give. Whether you do give or not, it's the ability to give. It's having access to give. It's just, oh my God. Listen, it hits so heavy. So I'm just walking through the mall with her and I'm thinking of all of these other circumstances that have come about. You know, when you decide to be a blessing to another person or do something nice for somebody, the whole world don't have to know about it. They don't have to know what you do. And understanding that giving does like balance the scale of receiving. However, if I pray to be a person to be able to give, you also have to know how to receive. Because knowing how to receive is a form of gratitude. And gratitude goes hand in hand with abundance. They're married. And so to cut one off and still desire the other is imbalance. So you got to know how to do both. And I remember when God said in order to give, you got to learn how to receive. And also in order to receive, you got to learn how to give. Oh my God. What? It was so, listen. It was so crazy. Okay, fast forward to the 1st. January 1st. My brother get married. We go to his ceremony. Afterwards, my niece's grandmother, our other extended family, she's cooking. Had no idea, but it was just something small that they were doing. And so she said, oh no, tell your mother I got a plate for her. We go over there, pick up a plate. I go in and get the food. And when I got home, I only had intentions on cooking, going to bed. It's 9 o'clock. All right. We're owls around here sometime. We don't go to sleep. We cook late, whatever. I'm getting better. So anyway, I didn't care that it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm about to go home and cook. I'll figure it out. I went in there to get my mom's plate. Had intentions on coming back out. I come in. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. How are the kids? Oh my gosh, I miss you guys. Oh, we can do it. She starts packing up all of her food and she hands it to me. Take this for you and the kids. It happened again. I said, wow. All right. So when she handed me the stuff, I just said, thank you. And it came out in such a weird way. Both of us started cracking up. But I had to tell her why I sounded retarded when I said thank you. Because I said I have to learn how to accept when somebody is just trying to be a blessing to me. Because I prayed to be the way that you're being right now. To just be able to give. To just have a heart to give. And I tell people all the time that your finances and your abundance and your everything is tied up in your emotional cavity. Some of the things that you go through financially, mentally, listen, they're tied and locked up into emotion. Okay? That's another video for another day. And it's going to be more than 15 minutes. I'm already pushing the envelope now. And I'm probably going to go past 15 minutes. I'll just split the video. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times, you might not even notice that you're doing certain things because the habit of how you practice has been for so long that you can't even see that you're standing in your own way. The universe has very subtle ways of coming in and letting you see where they're trying to what am I trying to say? Reprogram or re-implement certain waves so that your thought processes will change and you'll be able to accept things differently or wrap your mind around things differently, and not have to do it with content or from the root of trying to protect yourself. Because if you do anything always trying to protect yourself, then that means you're on the defense a lot. That's a wall, that's a block, that's anything that will stop anything from flowing through. And it sends mixed messages, because while you ask for yeses to come, yeses come, and you sit in shock and feel like you don't deserve it or don't believe that it's for you, because you're so used to doing everything for so long that you just, and you wait for it to have a different type of attachment to it. Like, okay, so for me, it was some negative financial experiences that I went through. In my marriage, after my marriage, because of my marriage, all those kind of things. And it left such a bad taste in my mouth. I have to be my hero. I have to be me and my kids' hero. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? And it's when you listen, it's been almost 20 years. So when you live for so long practicing the same habits, as long as I do it, then I can't complain if you do it and it all is shot to hell. Because letting somebody else do something sometimes is giving them control, or so I thought at a time. It's giving them control, and so it's a burden attached to them supposedly doing something kind. And it feels like it's a tit for tat. It feels like it's Italian. It doesn't feel like a sincere gesture from the heart. So getting used to that and being in a mindset that causes a poverty mindset, because it stops things. Thinking like that stops things from flowing in. That's why you can be stagnant for such a long time. I'm telling you, because it happened with me. And I'm telling you because literally last week, I seen it. That little dangling little teeny piece that was left. I'm telling you. That little teeny piece that was left. Listen, I'm saying these things for you to understand that sometimes you need to look a little bit deeper. And I made the reference to the moon because that's exactly what it was. The new moon that passed on December the 26th. New moons are dark, okay? Unless you got a telescope or you know exactly where to look, you know the degrees of where the moon is going to be in the sky, and you know where to look, you won't see it with your bare eye. You can if you know where to look and you got a telescope, though. But usually, the new moon was eclipsed, which means you ain't human if you saw it with your bare eye, and that's that. And I'm going to talk about that another time. But anyway, so a lot of times when you hold things in your moon side or in your shadow side that you want to keep private, or that you want to just hold off from talking about for a while, it'll sit there in what we call your moon, because your sun exposes everything. It shows, the fullness of who you are, or who you want people to believe that you are, right? And so with it being eclipsed, it means that, or how I interpret it is, it's things that are there that you don't even see. It's hidden from you. And so, again, circumstances will come and the universe will have a way of bringing things to the forefront for you only to see it and understand it. It's not for 25 people to understand. You can try to talk all the details that you want to them about how everything has been breaking down for you, and it's not for them to get. It's for you to get, so you can get out of the space that you're in, so you can grow up and come out of your basement. Oh my God. It was so deep. I walked out of that mall, I was feeling so sorry. I was just like, I felt so bad. And I only felt bad because I finally understood. I finally got it. And so when I went to our family's house the other day, and like I said, she gave me the food. She had no idea I was about to go home and cook, and even stopped at the market on the way home. She had no idea I was about to do any of that. I ain't announced none of that. But all she did was she knew me and knew my house. And she pulled out her Tupperware. And while she could have easily just put that stuff in the fridge, she just put the stuff in the bag and told me to take it. I was just like, oh my God. And so, like I said, I had to let her in on this quick lesson that I had only learned a couple of days ago about stop playing yourself, Jen. Stop playing yourself. If you ask for certain people to clear your space so other people who hold your same values can share that space with you, go and let it happen. Stop stopping stuff. You don't even know what you're doing. You know, you like I said, you may not even realize that you're doing the things that you're doing because of pride. And like I said, modesty can very well be taken over or can be looked at as a soft form of pride because it has a tendency to still stop things. It'll stop things in a subtle way of, oh no, I got it, it's okay. Oh no, I got it, it's all right. No, it's not too much. Even if it's not too much. Sometimes it's just good to know that there's relief somewhere. And if you know that if it's coming from a person that always has a motive, then you already know who to accept things from and who not to accept things from. That part is truly left up to you. You don't have to accept it just because somebody's giving it out. But the lesson in it is always there. And if it's not this, that, you know, this particular circumstance that I'm talking about that you can relate to, it might be something that flows along with the concept of what I'm talking about that you can relate to, that you know you've kind of been in the way of things working out a certain way. Like you're there, you don't even know that you're there. You're being the wall, and you don't even know it because you just can't. You like I said, been functioning in a certain way for so long that you just can't see it. It's like you gotta step outside of yourself and be able to look onto you and into you how other people do. And sometimes it's just difficult, but circumstances will present themselves to give you that moment to be able to see clear. And then you'll see clear. And I'm telling you, it makes such a difference. It makes a huge difference. You know when it's God. Nobody can do anything about it when it's God. You know when it's God, and it's God. Same thing happened on Saturday. It happened oh my God. Listen, it's been so many small, intimate things that's been happening since that time. And I really just wanted to share this with y'all in case you've been experiencing lack or you feel like you there, and it's always this one thing that just kind of snatched the rug from underneath you. I'm telling you, it 9 times out of 10 has to do with that. It's something causing that stutter, that like the record, it keep breaking at the same spot. The cycles and everything have been breaking since last year. That's why 2019 was probably hard for a lot of people, because a lot of things were breaking off. And so to understand the cycle or to move on to the new cycle, you still have to understand the one you came out of so you don't repeat it. And sometimes there could be some things that are just lingering, residue, that you just need to get rid of. And in order to get rid of it, you have to see it. And a lot of times when we put things in the back of our mind or in the basement of our thoughts, it forces you not to look at it. If you don't look at it, you can't heal what you can't see. And if you don't hear what you can't see, then a lot of things are going to keep repeating themselves because you haven't allowed yourself to just embrace it, have a moment with it, and just let it go. Just hit. Ouch. Hit my hand. You get my point. I'm trying to make. I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up trying to tell you let it go. Listen to me. Listen. All right, you don't think it's a game? All right, go ahead. Keep playing with God. I'm not playing anymore. I'm here. I'm good. I got it. I understood. Okay, I seen it loud and clear. You don't have to tell me twice. Just like she said, you ain't got. Listen. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And for a while now, okay. It's like once you see where the moments where you wish you did them differently, but then you kind of just stand inside this moment of gratitude, like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I finally see it. Because if you sit there and torture yourself and count backwards of what you could have done, it's just going to keep you in that same mindset. Because then you'll want to snatch things back. No. Nope. Be thankful for that light bulb and go on, move forward. Go on, keep walking. Take your lantern and go. Get out of here. Go do what you need to do to keep reaping your rewards. Because you asked for them. And then you go stand in your way when somebody try to give you something and they don't understand, and you look crazy when they try to give you something and then you giving it back. So overwhelming. So just oh my God. Learning how to give and receive. It's a gift. That in itself is a gift. Being able to stand in gratitude is a gift. Just being able to stand and say thank you. Not even receiving anything, but your eyes open in the next day. You know, after going through a whole bunch of different series of things, and just being able to stand inside of a moment of just gratitude for where you are. No price for that. All right, I'm done talking to y'all. I don't feel like it no more. I got my point across, I think.